You are here with By the Cover. Today we're going to be reviewing Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. This book was 302 pages and took me 3 days to read. I would rate this book a 6 out of 10. This is my first book by this author. This review may contain some mild spoilers, so if you don't want to hear those, click off now. So as far as my likes with this book, anytime the author is writing about nature, it's both beautiful and informative, and I thought that was really well done. She bases a lot of that on real life events and locations. So while the location is fiction, it's based on a real place and things that actually happened. And I also liked the idea of these characters, but it wasn't executed super well, and I'll get into that later. So as far as just the okay in this book, I thought the pacing was pretty slow. Given that the slowness is used to kind of build relationships between these characters, I thought the pacing being slow was okay. Just be aware that this is not an action-packed book. It's more like going on a camping trip or walking on a beach. There was also a very strong climate change agenda with focus on the world ending. Something like this would typically annoy me, but here you have a good juxtaposition between basically 2 points of view, and it's all nature focused. On one side, you have somebody that is older and a lot more pessimistic about the world ending, and it's a very doomsday-like perspective on things. Then you have the younger generation of kids who are just fascinated by nature and love it just so much. They have a lot of hope. Those two viewpoints clashing against each other allows both sides to learn from each other. While I'm not a fan of that subject matter, I was a fan of it in this particular instance, so I thought it was okay because it did have a purpose. As far as my dislikes of this book, I found this author's writing very choppy. It was almost like walking on a rocky beach the whole time. It was hard for me personally to read and get into. The primary issue that I had besides that was that it seemed like every single character's voice was the exact same voice. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of differentiation. And you have to understand, in this book, there's a lot of varied characters. You have a 9-year-old child, you have 2 teenagers, you have 2 older adults, and the fact that all of their voices sound the same, or all their perspectives are about the same, is a bit jarring. While I really like the basic concept of these characters, I don't like the execution in the way they were portrayed in the book. And while we're on characters, Orly, while I loved him as a character, his character was completely unrealistic. There's no way that a 9-year-old would have that much knowledge on something and speak the way that he does, or have inner monologue the way that he does. I mean, this kid goes so far as to sabotage equipment later in the book. And I also found that a lot of these characters just had unrealistic behavior. For example, the way that Rowan acted towards this family, knowing that they possibly killed him, was completely unrealistic. She's snuggling up with him, she's getting cozy, she's learning all about him. Even after she finds out it's possible, she's cuddling up to Dominic, and her behavior really doesn't change. Then you have the kids, and right when Rowan gets there, the youngest is cuddling up with her. It's just very weird. It's a weird family and a weird dynamic with this lady that just shows up. Overall, I did like the book. I thought it was flawed in a lot of ways that I've already pointed out. I wasn't able to fully immerse myself in it, and I didn't think a whole lot happened in it. But it was an interesting concept. I did like the author's passion for nature, and I did like the characters in general. I just didn't like the execution of their viewpoints and some of their unrealistic behavior. So that's about it. We'll catch you later.